moving on. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't feel. Mike's where the page lies, it's about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Will there always be some haters? They don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right. What's up, everybody? I feel out of it today. I just went and got Louie. I'm forgetting something. I don't know what I'm forgetting. But hello, welcome. I think I got TikTok chat working now. So now I can read 4 chats. We got MWP chat. We got Facebook chat. We got YouTube chat. And now we got TikTok chat. Holy cow, that's a lot of reading. A lot of reading. So let me drag it over here. I'm kind of experimenting here with my windows. And we'll get into weather. We're getting ready to get some big rain here. We obviously I shared it a few times this morning. Florida getting some big, intense convection bursts that we're going to be seeing, I think, the next couple days. So interesting for sure. Let me see if I can drag this over here now. Let's see. I'm going to try to make it smaller. This is for you TikTokers. I'm trying to get this working. Huh? What? Fake engagement policy. What the hell is that all about? Oh, whatever. I just got a weird warning. All right. Well, anyway, good morning, world. Let's see. I think I got all my windows happily placed here. There's windows everywhere. I got windows. I could read everything. Maybe not. Okay, we've got to slide it a little bit over this way. I'm trying. Bear with me. I got 4 chat windows open on one screen. Okay, just to prove it to you. So we got B Butcher from Knoxville, YouTube, Teresa, Allison, William, Jennifer from Daytona. Heading Daytona in a month. Can't wait. Then we have Facebook chat. Hello, Deborah, Karen, and Buckhead Ridge, South Carolina, Linda Lay, Newport Richie J. Yes. Are you in Newport Richie J? And then we have our TikTok chat. Finally get to read it. Tarpon Springs, Beach Babe, Fort Myers, Meg, what's up? St. Augustine, oh my God. A lot of lightning in the storms today. Brad, looking good on TikTok. Awesome. And then, of course, our MWP chat, the fan club, the Brew crew. We go live over there a little earlier. So, anyway. Talking weather. I don't know how I'm going to read all these things. It's a process. I just got a TikTok notice that I was violating fake engagement. How's that even possible? What does that mean? All right. Julie up in Newport Richey. Yes, we're going to talk about that. It's on my doorsteps right now. We've had a lot of rain around Ocala this morning. Just Derek, where do you live at? We're going to get some rains. Joy. Golly, I can't even keep up. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Lady Lake, Cape Coral, Charleston, Tallahassee. I know, TikTok, right, Meg? We had some fun TikTok late nights. Anyway, this is Louie, by the way. If anybody news at the page, we got 2 dogs. We got Longo and we got Louie. Louie's the original. He's the man. A lot of rain in the Gulf this week, Bama. Yes. Hey, Richard Reimer. What's up, buddy? Mr. Neal. What's going on? Riverview. Yep, a lot of rain popping. We're going to get into all that forecast stuff. Promise ya. Been very busy in Ocala, Kendall. Yes. OBX. Patrick. One day I get to go to OBX. I hope it's for fun. I don't want to wish a serious storm on anybody, but I would love to go to OBX one time. What is that? What's that road? 12? Is 12 the road that always gets washed out? Hunter Brittany. Oh, you're new. Haven't been around in a while, Brittany. Oh, my God. Hunter. Hunter passed. And we've already shared tears. So, Longo is his replacement. What's up, Keem Davis? Morning, buddy. It's hot. People get mad at me talking about it being hot. It's been hot. Hot. Even my dad said it's hot. When your 87-year-old dad said it's hot, it's hot. People, oh, no, I just got it. I don't know how this is fake. My live is being appealed. I don't know why. Live visibility restricted. Anyway. All right. Well, I got some fun stuff to talk about weather-wise. I always put up a bunch of windows. We do have some weather out there. Tropics are quiet if you're coming for that. Always good news, right? Yes, 12 is the road, Patrick. I thought so. Well, this is our Daily Brew. We're coming to you live from Oldmar, Florida, which is right beside Clearwater and Tampa Bay. Brought to you by our great friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. If you're watching, Miss Mary, Mr. Sean, and Troy, and all the crew there, we appreciate your support of not only MWP, but Florida. It's a great place to get storm supplies. There's your tropical update. What's up, Joseph? Yeah, he's sleeping. Valdosta going to get some rain. Yeah, Tammy. Yep, you're close enough to that Florida-Georgia line. 12. No, I'm not going to say the Q word. Lynn Haven. We love Lynn Haven, Gene. Just north of Panama City there. Terrible. Back in the day with Hurricane Michael. Jeffrey, you can watch it from the app or PC. It's the same stream. It's our little private group. Get notifications. Coolest thing about the Brew Crew and MWPchat.com is you can set your notifications, which is awesome. You can get text. Every time I post, you can get a text alert. You can get an email alert. You can get a daily recap. You can mingle with other fans. It's kind of neat. Oh, what's up, Sharon from Clearwater? Yellow Blob's gone, Brad. Yep. So there you go. Kathy from FW, I assume that's Fort Walton Beach. I'm missing a little bit of my chat. Morning there, Nessa. Jeffrey, yeah, it's easy, man. Our way to give back. Everybody always has a subscription, but we try to give back. So, but anyway, tropics are quiet. Let's put down Louie. Say, buddy, oh, I love you, Louie. I love my little guy. He's my man. Him and Longo yesterday played for hours. It was so nice. And then they sleep in their banana bed. And I was always hoping that Louie would allow little Longo to sleep in there because that's what he did with Hunter. So they're getting along. They're best friends, right? Longo? Where's Longo? So anyway, tropics are quiet. You got to like that, right? No, the season's not a bust. Everybody says, man, the season's slow. The season's slow. It isn't slow. Believe it or not, it's above average right now. We normally get our third name system, our C name system, in August the 3rd. So we're actually ahead of schedule, believe it or not. I tell you what, though. All the expos, all the preseason hype, all the preseason predictions, you get so amped up and you think, oh my God, and then we get this July lull. Happens every year. The emotional roller coasters of tropical tracking. You know, we're all thinking this, and then all of a sudden with this, and we're like, oh, and then it comes and gets you. The season. So, we won't say it's a bust season until October. But this is very normal to be slow in July. Let's talk about what's ahead real quick. There's really nothing. We keep showing this little blob. You got to be careful. We did the same thing with Invest 93, including me. Just because it shows tropical depression chances, I always make sure we go to tropical storm chances and Zippo. So yeah, we got some sort of low pressure that's trying to slide across the Gulf, but man, development chances seem very low. So we're keeping an eye on it. Obviously, we got a blob coming across the Atlantic right now. We're going to talk about that. We got rain on the way all week long, all the way to Texas on Friday, Saturday. Not tropical, but it is going to produce some weather. And right now, it's producing no sunshine in Oldsmar. It is a little bit of old Dexter, which really wasn't Dexter. Invest 93. Amy, what's up? Morning, Crystal River, one of my favorite places. So anyway, that's that. This is remnants of 94. It's not on the radar anymore. If it were to become a tropical depression, but there's so much dry air out there that it's just ran out of convection. You need moisture. You need fuel. Cars need fuel. Teslas need electricity. If you don't have those two components, cars don't move. Tropics need moisture in the atmosphere. Moist. And that dry air in the Atlantic has just been taking all the moisture. And that is, it's normal this time of year. Normal. Beryl was an anomaly last year. Beryl was very rare. It was the farthest east hurricane ever in July. It was a Cat 5. Unheard of. But anyway, and this little spot always shows up. These are old waves and end up crossing over to the Pacific. So we really don't look that low usually. That's so far low that usually ends up in the Pacific. Couple model maps here I want to show you real quick. We look at 10-day ensemble plots. Here's your European IA, artificial intelligence. I act smart sometimes. That's artificial. Very few members. There's 51 members of the Euro, so you want to see a lot of these in order to build some sort of confidence. There's nothing really. And look at the pressure ranges. These are all 1,005 plus. High pressure does not mean anything. Low pressure, 1,005 is not a low pressure. It is a low pressure, but it's not low. You look at these color green, blue, and then red. We don't have that. So I hear thunder. European main runs, very little. There's a little bit of, you always get these track low pressure centers. Okay, so a lot of nor'easters pop up on these maps because it's low pressure from old frontal lines and end up, going off the northeast. So we're just looking at the main development region, nothing, and then the GFS showing a lot of light gray lines, 1,010 plus. 1,010 plus pressure is not a tropical system. It's a low pressure, but there's really no areas. A couple isolated outliers, but again, we're not seeing anything to really hype up. I love the hype. So pretty bad when there's nothing to hype. Brad, is that the same blob? Yes. Technically, yes. I'll show it to you in a second. But yeah, it went up, and now we have this high pressure that's going to spin it back around. So you could argue, yes, there's a DNA of 93 in this little system. So yeah, we got a lot of rain. Trinity, yep, it's coming my way, Tracy. Same pattern as yesterday. It all came kind of down. What do we got here in the tropic? I just got a tropic alert. Hold on a second. That's a beacon alert. They're usually a little late to the game here. So, welcome to TikTok. So I've kind of got comments. Yeah, it's awesome. Storms coming Pinellas. Don't open a roof in Plant City. Yeah, it's not going to rain all day. Just periodic rain. So, good morning there, Ryder Cash. It's a cool name. That's a good country singer name, man. Ryder. Hey y'all, my name's Ryder Cash. And thunder, I hear thunder. So this came out yesterday. So these look out day 3, day 7. I had a great comment. Somebody said, "Oh, the rain's gone in Florida." Well, that was because that now we are within day 1, day 2. This is day 3 to day 7. So yeah, the rain blob's still over Florida, which we're getting right now. This looks at day 3 to day 7, and that blob is going to move over. So heavy rain 724 to 728. It's going to linger upper Gulf. Part of that's Texas, yes. So we're going to have a lot of Gulf rains. The NVEST 93, deja vu. The other thing we're not going to talk about today as much as the heat. There's all kinds of hazardous heat warnings up. We've got another heat dome coming in. This is 724 to 728. Most of this this week ahead. So hazardous heat basically just means high heat index, humidity, lack of clouds, lack of rain, just heat. There you go. That's what we got. To show you this a little bit, this is where we're at this morning. Heat advisories are still up, middle part of Florida north. Should get some cooling rains later on today. We got more winds coming across the state, keeping things a little bit cooler. So bottom half of the peninsula, not under a heat advisory unless they changed it. When I made that graphic, they might have added some. No. And, extreme heat warning across Mississippi there. God, I've been up there in the summertime driving along the Mississippi. A lot of catfish farms, but it gets hot. You don't have the flow of the water to cool things down. And then we have extreme heat watch all the way up to the Great Lakes. So that's today. Here is severe weather outlook for today. Believe it or not, we got number 1. Hey, we had a tornado yesterday down. Well, no, I think, you know what? I think Devitt said it wasn't a tornado. But it looked like a tornado. Straight line winds. Let me see what Matt said. I'm friends with Matt, by the way. All y'all follow Matt down here? Matt Devitt? He's a friend of mine. We talk on the phone actually a lot. Yep, possible tornado yesterday. I don't think they ever confirmed it. But anyway, it was down there in DeSoto County yesterday. It had some crazy videos of that. But anyway, that's what we got for storms today across northern Florida, Georgia there, Carolinas a little bit, South Carolina, and a little bit Alabama. So we could see some strong afternoon thunderstorms with that daytime heating. Heat advisories are up. Storms pop, boom, out of nowhere. So there's what we got, all right? What else we got popped up here? Okay, here's tomorrow, not showing it. Is today Wednesday? Or what day is today? Oh, I closed 2 windows. Oh, well. Didn't miss nothing. The next 2 days, we don't really have anything. Well, let me go back here because I don't want to miss tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, right? All right, here's tomorrow. Up north, storms, nothing in the south, okay? And then we are back to here for Thursday. So nothing really planned the next... So it's Jen. What's happening? Hey, and I appreciate that. I'm always talking weather. Yeah, thunder carried downtown Clearwater. Tuesday. Oh, today's Tuesday. That's what you're always telling me. Whoa! I always run out of map session expired. Okay, so now we're going to refresh it. So here's current radar. Look at that. Man, we got some heavy rain. There's thunder right here by me. There's Oldsmar. So it's coming down. But a lot of storms today. Look at that action. It's sliding south a little bit. That's current radar. And it's kind of a slow radar. But there you go. We had 5 inches already up there in Ocala. Flash flood warnings north of Ocala. Down by the villages a little bit. So that's all moving south. And believe it or not, we kind of got a little low pressure area. I'm going to show you. There is a little bit of spin. Everybody take your hands. And they go like this. Counterclockwise. You know what? I keep saying clockwise. I did a typo yesterday. It was clockwise. But do kids even know what clockwise mean anymore? Do they even teach you how to read clocks? Does anybody know? What's everybody predicting for Friday, Ash? Actually, they're not predicting anything. It's just rain. There's a blob of rain coming over there. Right now, we don't have anything tropical developing. So, might get some rains for eastern Texas Friday, Saturday. Okay, we'll talk about it. But nothing, I'm not seeing any very large numbers yet. Okay, so. Destin, buddy. We got a little rain today, tomorrow, Destiny. A little bit more than normal. And maybe a little bit lingers into Thursday, but not a washout. Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be great. So, morning, Mr. Mike Sherman. How's it going? Steve Myers, good morning. Where'd my country guy go over there? Did he agree yet? Ryder Cash. I love that name. Emily, you think that'd be a good country name? Ryder Cash. Sure. Okay, you get a sure out of a 19-year-old. Okay, what else we got? All right, rainfall through Friday. This is interesting. This is a blend of models. I like to share these type of models because it is takes in all the models and it kind of averages them out. So it's kind of good. Might be underestimated a little bit in spots because it kind of blends them all together. But it gives you the idea through Thursday. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Good little soaking here for most everybody across the state. Now all this blob's moving across. We're going to show you that here in a second. So everybody else in the upper Gulf later week gets it too. But, you know, a little bit more on the west side, Big Bend side, Panhandle side, as the flow is coming across the Atlantic. So it takes a little time for this stuff to brew, but the overall pattern is this is going to shift west across the state. But everybody should get at least an inch or two, right? All right, here's cool little imagery. I'm going to slow down and drink some coffee. So let's see what the Brewers are saying. What did I miss? They all go on a tangent over there. Brandy, did you get my message? I think we're going to try to camp at TBBC on Friday night on the 29th. We got the beer almost done. The image is almost done. We have a little hunter on the can. We have a memorial. It's every year the can now is going to have a theme. Spaghetti Model IPA. I just can't wait to show you, but the release is the end of August. I know ABC already put a big order in. But we're going to have a release party, it looks like on maybe the 29th of Friday. Not official yet, but we're trying to work out one of the Fridays. So we'd love to see everybody there for that. So there's a water vapor map. No hurricane readings coming to Florida. Not now. One day. We just don't know when. So you see this spin up here? Pretty cool, isn't it? This is an old frontal line. And look at that, man. That's pretty neat. We got high pressure to the north. It's spinning clockwise. So all this is being steered eventually this way. And this is actually trying to spin a little bit. It's kind of a low pressure area. And all this is going to be pushing across the Gulf. The Gulf of Stream. The Gulf Stream. But it's pretty cool looking. I had a couple people message me think that there's something brewing. There is a low pressure. Low pressures don't mean organization, but they do bring nasty weather. And that basic spin is going to be pushed across the state in the next couple of days, and then it's going to be reaching Texas maybe Friday. So that's kind of what we're looking. This is water vapor. This is the moisture in the atmosphere. Down here is leftover Invest 94, and you can just tell it's just ingesting all this dry air. And it's just running out of convection, and eventually it's just going to be maybe some rain. They need these. Now, there's all kinds of stuff coming off Africa. Look, and you can kind of see this. This is what you look for this time of year. This is signs of less dry air, less dust. That would give these waves more of a chance, more of a window, because they all pull in moisture from the north. But when they're pulling in dry air from the north, it gets wrapped into a system and it just kind of fizzles out. But eventually we start looking out here, usually end of July, not now. So it's very normal to have all this time of year. And ironically, well, I'm going to look at the spinach here. That's actually the next thing I got up. So this little area off of Florida, that's what I want to talk about. Surface low. You can kind of see where the old frontal line is up here, trying to get a little low pressure spin, but it's all over the place. 700, 500, basically just a sloppy mess. But I do want to look at Invest 94 because I bet you we'll see some sort of surface low maybe out there, but it's just got terrible conditions. No, we don't even have that. Well, so the story of the year has been this, okay? I get a lot of people asking me questions. Why is South Florida dry? Why is South Florida under drought conditions? The waters in the Atlantic down there are actually cooler than normal. If we look at a 7-day analog here, or actually they warmed up quite a bit. I should have checked that before I said that. But let me look at the North Atlantic open image into a new, this is Tropical Tidbit, by the way, tropicaltidbits.com. So notice the main development region. When we looked at last year, these are 30-year normals. Okay, white is normal, blue is not. Blue is cooler than normal, red is warmer than normal. So notice how we have a lot of blues in the Western Caribbean that we normally this time of year last year was a lot warmer. Now, it is warming up fast. It doesn't take time or much time to warm up fast. But we've had a lot of dusty, dry air, and that's been the story all year, is more than normal dust plumes have been coming across. And that does reach South Florida. And dusty, dry air and high winds kind of keep the moisture less. And that's why South Florida has been experiencing a little bit less rain than normal, is because of this increased winds across the Atlantic, which you can see here. This is what ultimately is tearing up Invest 94. These are winds, low-level winds, and we just had a lot of winds across the Caribbean this year so far, keeping it cooler water. High winds churn up water from below the surface. You have something called upwelling. So when you have stronger winds across this main development region, you get a lift of the water, and that water cools down because it's cooler down below, obviously, than it is at the surface. A little interesting tidbit, right? Here's that this morning, incredible convection. This was amazing to wake up to this morning to see this bubble. So we had flash flood warnings in and around Ocala this morning, and several inches fell, 5 inches, I believe. It's a couple spots. So that was incredible convection, and we're going to be seeing this the next couple of days as the atmosphere is very unstable right now. We have a lot of moisture in place and a lot of daytime heating. So, storm ready. Is that our friend's storm ready? I don't recognize it, but if it is, hello. What's up? Colder winter Tuesday. Is that your name, Tuesday? I've never met a Tuesday. You know, one of my favorite songs is Tuesday's Gone with the Wind. Leonard Skinner. What's up, Harold? Jellyfish. Oh, Lord. You know, I did talk to some research folks from the Gulf Coast state, and they track sharks, and the sharks are going farther north in the Gulf. Could be because the water's a little warmer. They react to different changes in the environment, but there are signs of sharks. Now, that loop current goes a little deeper in the Gulf the last few years, and those loop currents produce loop eddies, which in turn create extra fuel for the Gulf. So, tornadoes, Ryder. Yeah, that was a incredible setup with Milton with those tornadoes. A lot of it was just the jet stream that was coming down, mingling, expanding the wind field of Milton. A large, to get those type of tornadoes, you got to have some sort of jet stream interaction, because all that's got to get pulled up. And that when we had those, remember Milton, we had a big dip in the jet, and that jet stream mingled with that upper level winds, and it just expanded those bands coming up. Plus, the night before, Reed Timmer called it out too. We had a lot of little isolated cells popping south of the Keys, and you could see the rotation in those already beginning, pulling up around the next morning. So that was kind of predicted the night before, that we had these little isolated cells. And that's really the difference too. It wasn't just a normal feeder band. It was these isolated cells. And if you remember, one of the hurricanes we had, God, I can't remember, one of them passed through Florida. I think it was, God, I can't remember which one it was now. But the next day we had a lot of tornadoes because we had leftover pulling up around it, but a lot of isolated cells were popping, and those create the heat. All the factors that you get out west because of the hurricanes with the jet stream, and hard to predict, obviously, because every storm's different. Jessica, thanks for following on FB. Dylan Hubbard. Oh, there's a lot more sharks in the Gulf than years before. Well, there you go, Chris Hargis. I know. I'm telling you, I was interested in discussion up there, the Tempest unit, with my friends of you listening up there. I remember the Tempest folks. Where's my coin at? But they have been studying the sharks. Have been coming up a little bit higher up, and I'm telling you, the Gulf has produced some of the biggest, baddest hurricanes. Okay, like most of your strongest hurricanes that have hit continental U.S. has either originated and intensified rapidly in the Gulf. Okay, Andrew is one of the only ones that didn't originate in the Gulf that were so bad, 150 miles an hour plus, that made landfall. And a lot of it is the warm water of the Gulf, and we talk about the loop currents and loop eddies. We haven't talked about them a lot this season, but this is your Gulf Stream basically, and see how deep it is. I haven't looked at this in weeks, but this reminds me of Ida. That is just a straight push of hot water into the Gulf, and then we get these little loop currents spinning everywhere in the Western Gulf. That's a little bit more than normal actually. And they drift a mile or 2 or 3 a day. They go down 3,000 feet. It's a river of hot water in the Gulf because the shelf is shallow here, and this is not. So this basically, is the perfect setup for a bad storm for Eastern Gulf, because you get these systems that get going like Michael and Ida and Ian and all of them. They originate down here, and then they feed off of these loop currents and pull in all this extra fuel, and then you have a shallow shelf which builds surge, and this shallow shelf usually holds a lot of hotter water because it doesn't have any upwelling. So it fuels here, and then it enjoys all the perks of shallow shelf surge, coastal surge, and then usually what they also need is a frontal line that comes down into play. And what ends up happening is our systems usually have a front. We get a big old hurricane out here, and it starts to pull in moisture from that front, and that ends up fueling our system. So you get what sometimes looks like a continuation of that front, and then you get this big old hurricane feeding into the front down here, and so that's why all this stuff happens in the Gulf quick. There's a lot of points in there that I've never talked about. I almost sound intelligent today. I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. So, hey, Forgotten Bay oysters, we saw a lot of that seaweed cruising down to Progresso on our last Margaritaville cruise. So I thought that was interesting to look at. So there you go. Enough of that. There's that. Excessive rainfall, just real quick today. Could be some flooding there across the Carolinas, as we have a lot of moisture in place off the Atlantic. So we're going to be watching for fast falling rains today. This is today. Notice a lot of Florida's in it because it's expected to have some rain. Doesn't mean everybody's going to get rain. It just means that if it does rain, it could fall fast, which could lead to some isolated flooding. We've already seen it today 2 different times now. We've had flash flooding this morning already. It's still falling. 6 inches here around Yankeetown. That's all 19 area. We've had almost 6 inches just north of Ocala this morning. We got another little cell just popped up here in Jasmine Estates. They got 3 inches already. 3 inches. So this year has been the story of flash flooding. I talk about it when I do these seminars and stuff. It seems like the inland flooding has just become such a new thing. Fast falling floodwaters. Yeah, Ocala, man, we just talked about it. Tarpon, yeah, Brandon. It comes down quick. It doesn't move, and it just accumulates. So, Melinda Ross, I am not the smartest. Yeah, smartest. Adam, Bob Ross, a little happy tree. The Keys are their own animal rider. I don't know. You weren't in the heat index yesterday, and you weren't in. You guys just your own. I think it's like your own little country down there. It takes so long to get to the Keys. It's like you guys are just in your own world, and that's what the locals love, right? You guys are just kind of your own little spot. Texas, yeah, we're going to talk about it. I want to show you what's going on. So here's your flood chances today. Here's tomorrow. Notice nothing yellow, nothing red, but just gives you an idea where the heavy rain's going to fall. This is Wednesday. Here's Thursday. You can see the slow shift west. Notice we're getting close to Texas, Beaumont. I'm reading my MWP chat. You guys all just kind of do your own thing. I know it's almost 10. Isn't it nuts, Shelly? So let's look at Friday. So there it is. Oop, there's the rain. I hear it. Oop, there's light flickering. What's going on here? I feel like we're under attack. I don't know what that was. That might have been the ice cube machine. It's hailing. So this is Friday. So yes, Texas might get some rain, and Houston's right on that bubble. And then here's Saturday, nothing. So there's the flow. Here's kind of what the rains are showing progression. Let me show you today, Tuesday. This is kind of what we're expecting today. Very isolated. There's your Carolina rain. They're worried about a little flooding there in the eastern part of Carolina through Georgia. This is rain today. Tomorrow rains are there. So again, a little more panhandle this time. A little bit of lower Georgia, Alabama. This is tomorrow. Tomorrow rains Wednesday. Panhandle gets a little bit more action. Here is Thursday, loading. Here's Thursday rains. Okay, so notice Thursday a little less in Florida now. The blob sliding west. A little more rain upper Gulf on Thursday. There's your lower Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and little Florida panhandle. And then here's your Friday rains. Kind of getting closer now to Texas and Louisiana. And let me go there now. But again, the totals aren't crazy high. You can kind of see it dry up. See that? This is Friday, rains, and then Saturday. So, well, actually, there's Saturday. Here's Friday. Friday rains. So, Friday, Saturday, Texas. But it doesn't look like a lot of total, like I said. So, we're not going to hype it up yet until we start to see a reason to hype it. Here's your overall totals. Red is 2 to 3 inches. We're not showing anything that high in eastern Texas yet. So, just kind of be aware of the blob as it comes across. You know, moisture-wise, I am a little hesitant because of the amount of moisture that we're going to be seeing in this system. So we'll look at precipitable water, and you'll see toward the end of the week a lot of purple. This is Wednesday and Thursday, but anytime you get purple PWAT values of 2.5 inches plus, that could mean a lot of rain. So I still think we're going to see some isolated amounts here in southeast Texas that could be, several inches. And we're seeing that this morning with Florida. I think this bubbling of convection is definitely what we're going to be seeing the next couple of days. We have this upper level low here that's trying to form off the coast, and it's just going to be fueling a lot of unsettled weather. wetter, unsettled weather. Brittany, Mike. Hey, Ian, yes. Very dry in Jamaica. It seems that way. Man, you've had a lot of winds. It's been windier than normal. Perry, what's up, Rita? I'll be on Fox Weather tomorrow at 12:15, it looks like, for all you midday weather watchers. See you, Gus. But look at that. That's crazy. Bubble. You don't really get convection bursts like that. Look at that. That's really incredible. Very incredible. And that's kind of what we're going to be seeing the next couple of days. So there you go. Tropics are quiet. Bubble. Bubbles up. Amanda, what's up? Mikey. Mayo. Where's Mayo? Hayden. Where's Mayo? I'm curious. Mayo looks good on bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches. Hello, Priscilla from Navarre, St. Augustine. Getting dark. Yep, look at that. Oh, yeah, it is right over top of you. Maybe to your south a little bit. Outlook for South Louisiana. Is that what that is? South Louisiana this weekend? Weekend's fine there, Casey. Yeah, Fox on 12:15 Wednesday. 12:15, Bonnie. I don't know what we're talking about. Bob hasn't emailed me yet. We're going to talk one day. Hey, Eric Howler, we need to win some games, man. 121 heat index, as Morgan says in Milton. Oh, my God. Tropical troubles. Pensacola. All right. Lakers. What's up, Greg Stevens? Hey, buddy. So, yeah, man, all right, we're just going to be watching this thing, man. It's just a very weird pattern that we're in, all right? 2 days of intense heat and dry air and a lot of sunshine has flipped the switch 180 degrees to this crazy bubbling out of nowhere juice, but it's being fueled by that old frontal boundary and a kind of an upper level low trying to set up there off the east coast of Florida. You can see it. Let me back up a little bit. Again, there's nothing developing. It's just interesting to see. But we can look at the water vapor loop here, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This spot right there. You can see a big old, very, very broad low trying to set up. But this basically is going to fuel this moisture across the Gulf the next few days. So pretty fascinating, right? Right. How's Disney? It's going to be off and on all day. Everything's off and on all day. So we will keep an eye on it. But kind of went over everything. I hope. Makes sense, right? Yeah, a lot of good content in one day. So feel good about it, Mary Carroll. I'll rate this about an 8 out of 10. Well, I hope you called Kim yesterday. On your cruise. We're going to say goodbye here. We're going to pop up one of my good supporters, Coastal Claims, Frank and crew. Neighbor across the street, use them twice. Anytime you have any storm damage, any damage at all, storm damage obviously because we're a storm website. So many of you all have had to use an insurance adjuster to help get settlement. So don't be afraid to call, man. You might end up with a whole lot more ching-chang, little change in your pants, shorts, jorts. I still wear jorts. Any of you guys still wear jorts? So anyway, give Old Coastal Claims a call and tell them, hey, they sponsor our race car at Daytona and good people here in Florida. And they do all the country pretty much, so not just Florida, but anyway, don't be afraid to give them a call and ask if you need help. So, all right, we'll be live tomorrow and talking weather with our jorts. Nobody's admitted that they wear jorts. Am I the only one? I think I look good in them, by the way. It's all coming back. Mustaches are coming back. Morgan Wallen's sporting one. Riley Green, I'm right there with them. Maybe they watch us and they're like, yeah, we should have one too. not as good as Phil's over here in the Brew crew, though. Phil, you got the big one going there. And firemen. Most of the firemen that I meet have these big old mustaches. But they also have a lot more muscles than I do, too. I probably should get working on that. See you tomorrow. All right, cheers.